My mom worked as a housekeeper for the Lin family, and Ryan Lin's mom was always on the lookout for me to hook up with her baby boy. When I went to college, I moved out of the Lin family and got a boyfriend, which I showed off in my circle of friends every day. When I had to go back to the Lin family, Ryan Lin still gave me food and cared about my study and life gently. In the middle of the night, my locked door was opened by a key, and he was standing at the end of the bed with a rope in his hand, looking at me for a long time. Ryan Lin's mom defends me like a thief. My father and Ryan Lin, his father, is hair small, and then Ryan Lin, his father, business developed. My father has been poor, and then my father got cancer, died. The Lin family, in order to take care of us orphans and widows. The Lin family to find a job for my mother. To be honest, the Lin family has been very kind to my family. My parents were uneducated and had been working in a factory, leaving me in the countryside to be fostered by my grandmother. My grandmother favored sons over daughters. And I suffered a lot. When my dad got cancer, the family's few savings were all spent. Mr. Lin went back to his hometown to visit his family, and when he found out about our family's situation, he was so saddened that he asked my mom to take me to his house. My mom worked as a housekeeper, and I lived with my mom, and then I went to the city to study. I was just in middle school. Ryan Lin was 5 years older than me, a gentle and understanding brother. He was the standard child of other people's families, winning first place in school, being the president of the student council, liked by teachers and classmates, and Mr. Lin and Mrs. Sue were also proud of him. When I first went to his home, Ryan Lin showed the care that a brother should have for his sister. He took me to the bookstore to buy my school bag, textbooks, exercise books, and stationery. When I couldn't keep up with my studies at first, he was the one who took great pains to tutor me in my homework. He was afraid that I wouldn't have any friends at school and wouldn't be able to adapt. So he would come from the high school during recess and bring me cookies and milk. His purpose was not to deliver cookies and milk, of course, but to tell my classmates that I was covered, so that others wouldn't dare to bully me. He told people that I was the daughter of his dad's friend. After I followed my mom to live together, although both of us were living in someone else's house, the Lin family was a villa, and the maid's room was 100 times better than the house we used to live in. And my mom could care and take care of me, even though she wasn't very educated. I was still happy when I finished my homework in the study and came back to my room to see her knitting me a sweater or something. But Mrs. Sue doesn't like me or my mom. That I could tell. Mrs. Sue would often beat me up behind my back, saying that Ryan Lin only treats me as his sister, and that I should never think of him in any other way, because Ryan Lin is so good. His future girlfriend or wife must be a very good girl. Mrs. Sue said, a very good girl must not only be good-looking, but also good in studies, good grades, good ability, and capable of handling everything. Then she will be worthy of our Ryan Lin. To be honest, I don't have any conflict of interest with Mrs. Sue, and am on the same page with her. I think she's right. Ryan Lin is really good. He's the kind of good-looking, good student, good personality, gentle, white shirt wearing, not too talkative school romance novel hero, so he really should be with the best girl. I followed Ryan Lin to a prep school, close to my home, so if you want to go abroad, you can go to an international class, and if you don't want to go abroad, you can go to a regular middle school and high school class. Mr. Lin paid the tuition for me. Every time I bowed to Mr. Lin, I thanked him for helping me so much. And I said that I would definitely earn money to pay him back in the future, and I would repay him again. Sometimes the whole school would raise the national flag and do radio gymnastics together. The hosts are always two people, One is Ryan Lin and the other is also a senior high school sister. The other one is also a senior high school student. That student is very pretty, and I heard that her grades are good, so she is a popular person like Ryan Lin. Because of their outstanding appearance and hosting skills, they hosted all the school's parties and competitions. So they often appeared in pairs at school. Everyone thinks they are a golden couple. I think so too. They are also my idols. I hope I can be as good as them someday. When I first came to the Lin family, Ryan Lin was in his second year of high school. Apart from tutoring me in my homework, planning my study direction, and remedying my weak areas, he would also take me out on vacation. After I had fully adapted to the Lin family and school life, he flew abroad to study. He went to university abroad. When he left, I was in my second year of junior high school. Mrs. Sue was sad to see him go. But I felt she was relieved that I didn't have to spend time with his son to cultivate a relationship. Because every time Ryan Lin tutored me, Mrs. Sue said she would hire a tutor for me, saying that she wouldn't waste Ryan Lin's time. Ryan Lin was very straight and said why bother. When Ryan Lin wanted to take me out, Mrs. Sue politely said that she could take me out, or someone else could take me, because we are a boy and a girl, we can't hang out together. Ryan Lin added, let's go to a game hall, where men and women of all ages can play together. Mom, do you want to go? Ryan Lin doesn't understand his mom at all. Mrs. Sue told me not to get too close to Ryan Lin, and I immediately said yes. Ryan Lin's grades are really good, and he understands things very well, which makes him a favorite among adults. However, I think he has a problem, that is, he has his own logic in determining what he wants to do, and no matter what other people say, he can't do anything about it. Because he doesn't listen. I said my grades are my own. He says he's helping me and am learning on my own. I told him to mind his own business. He says it's his business to take care of me, his sister, too. He would take me out and I would say I didn't want to go out. He would then criticize me very harshly for staying home all day as a teenager to mess up my body. His mom said I have my own life and told him not to interfere too much. He said he had his own ideas too, and asked his mom not to interfere too much. Anyway, after 2 years of worrying, Mrs. Sue finally separated Ryan Lin and I. The smile on her face has lightened up a lot, and she has become even more affectionate when she sees me. Ryan Lin was very busy when he was studying abroad and basically came home once a year. I went to junior high school and then high school, also very busy. We didn't have any contact during the 4 years he was abroad. I went from a private junior high school, to a public school, to a boarding school, and I studied hard every day. Ryan Lin would also bring each of us gifts when he came home. His manners are really impeccable. And he gives each of us gifts that best suit our needs. Mr. Lin and Mrs. Sue are so happy with him that they say Ryan Lin is their son, but he is also their sweetheart. Mr. Lin said that in his life, he has been successful in his career, his family is happy, and his son is successful. It must be because he is kind and has done good deeds and accumulated virtue. So he has all these good fortune. The days went by in waves. Until Ryan Lin graduated from university and had to go back to China for work, Mrs. Sue started to get nervous again. During the summer vacation, I moved back to the Lin family from school. Ryan Lin was coming back in 10 days or so. Mrs. Sue said to me, Chia, your brother Ryan Lin is coming back. You have grown up. Don't cling to him like you did when you were a child, or your future sister-in-law will be jealous. I immediately expressed my loyalty. Mrs. Sue, don't worry. When I start school, it'll be boarding school. I'll work part-time to earn money at school. I don't have time to go home. And I definitely won't delay Ryan Lynn's search for his sister-in-law. Mrs. Sue praised me and gave me a cash gift to buy whatever I want. She also said, "You can look for a boyfriend while you are in college, but you must keep your eyes peeled. You can only find someone with real feelings in college. And it will be hard to find someone after you leave the society. When you look for a boyfriend, you must refer to the character and family conditions of the man. And if there is someone you like, you can bring them to Auntie to help you to refer to them." I thanked joyfully, went back to my room, counted the amount inside the cash gift. There were $10,000. I secretly vowed that I would make money in the future and repay Mrs. Z's family. During the summer vacation, Ryan Lynn came back. As usual, he brought gifts for each of us. The one for me was a laptop. He said I could use it in college. The new cell phone in my pocket was also a gift from Mr. Lynn. Whenever Mrs. Sue sees us together, her eyes scan like radar, afraid that we will develop feelings for each other. Mrs. Sue really thought too much. First of all, I am self-aware, and secondly, I won't be able to repay her with a favor. There is no way I would hook up with her son. Ryan Lynn said he wanted to take me on a graduation trip. He said, "Other people's kids have them, so how can you not have them? Your brother will give them all to you." I was insanely excited, but Mrs. Sue probably wouldn't be able to sleep if I followed Ryan Lynn out there. I said I was going to work at McDonald's. But I didn't go to McDonald's. I left the Lynn family every day and went to the library to read. Ryan Lynn was starting his own business and was very busy, and I sometimes got up in the middle of the night to get a drink of water before I saw him come home, kind of tired. I wanted to care for him. But the biggest thing I could do for him was to stay away from him. So I silently closed the door to my room. When school started, my mom helped me collect my bags. Ryan Lynn were also at home. He leaned on the door frame, frowned and said, "Home from your school is not far. In fact, there is no need boarding school." I said, "I'm sure it'll be very busy in college, and I'd like to work part-time to earn money, so it's not convenient for me to go home." Ryan Lynn, "Don't worry, they'll come back to see you often." He nodded his head and touched me. He nodded and touched my head. "Take good care of yourself. Call me if you can't solve it." I nodded. Mrs. Sue immediately came out and slapped his hand away. "Your sister has grown up. You guys need to watch your distance." I smiled at the two of them. Going to college, boarding school, is the first step. The only thing that will really put them at ease is if I have a boyfriend. Then Mrs. Sue will definitely feel more at ease. Then it's time to save up and buy a house so I don't have to go to his house so often. Of course, I'll still go back to see Mr. Lynn and Mrs. Sue, but they'll be more relieved when I have my own home. So am on my own. Ryan Lynn drove me to school. He helped me with my luggage, made my bed, bought my necessities, and was just a standard good brother. We went to apply for various cards and then went to the cafeteria to eat. Ryan Lynn gave me the goulash lean meat on his plate and said, "You are still young. Don't fall in love yet. Study hard." Got it. I hurriedly nodded my head and said, "Of course I know, brother Ryan Lynn. You're not young anymore. Hurry up and find me a sister-in-law who's a good match so that uncle and auntie can rest assured." His brows knitted into a Chuan character, saying, "Children stay out of adults' business." After sending Ryan Lynn away, I started my college life. I think my first order of business was to find a boyfriend. Within a month of starting school, There was a sophomore courting me. His name is Ethan Zhao. He is a famous playboy in the college, and he is also a second-generation rich guy. He has changed at least 10 girlfriends until now. We ate together, watched movies, went shopping. He gave me a gift, and then he confessed his love for me, and we got together. He confessed quite on the road, set a candlelight dinner, and a large bouquet of roses, exquisite a snake necklace. I shyly agreed. And then one by one to take pictures, uploaded to the circle of friends, the official announcement that I am in love. We even took a picture together. When we took the photo, Ethan Zhao stole a kiss from me. I didn't like it, but I still smiled and took the photo. I seldom go back to the Lin family. When I was in love with Ethan Zhao, we talked about it all over the world. He was already in the limelight, and I was in the limelight too. I thought about it and registered an account, ready to start a self-media to make money. Ethan Zhao was quite cooperative. So I started by showing off my boyfriend. They'll just take pictures of the two of us on our daily dates. I think the positioning of my account is to share my college life, relationship experience, and then wait to pick up Hiroko. Then I went online to see how the same type of accounts were filming, learned some things, and got Ethan Zhao to film with me. Don't tell me, the result is really, really good. Sometimes I share long videos, starting from makeup to the end of the date. Sometimes I share a 10-second video, which may be a scene, such as he tapped me on the shoulder from behind, and I turned around, or the kind of kiss that is popular on the internet, and then with a strong rhythmic music. I actually exploded 2 videos in a short period of time. A long one, a little funny, a short one, is the kind of very atmospheric feeling very video. Then my several platform accounts rose hundreds of thousands of dollars, then in the home page to hang goods to sell, and ads, earned 6 figures. Happiness came so suddenly that I was giddy with joy. So my mother asked me to go back to the Lin family for dinner on the weekend. I went back happily, not realizing the danger of a shock. Because of the money I transferred, I went to the mall and bought gifts for all 3 of Mr. Lin's family, as well as gifts for my mom. Although they didn't lack anything, it was a matter of courtesy. Mrs. Sue smiled at me with more sincerity. She also said that Ethan Zhao is the son of a certain business tycoon, a very nice young man, and told me to go out with him. I nodded, as long as Ethan Zhao didn't mention breaking up. I'm still relying on him for my flow right now. My mom pulled me to the kitchen and whispered, "You're just starting college now. You need to study first, wait for a good job in the future, then fall in love. Don't mess up the order." Anyway, my mom's biggest wish is for me to find a good job, preferably to get a government worker or become a teacher. I said I know. My mom looked at me and said, Don't get too close to that guy. You must not get pregnant now. If you have a baby and abort it, it will hurt you a lot, and you won't be able to find a marriage partner in the future. And it's even more unlikely to give birth to a baby. You need to have a good job first, and be able to support yourself. Then you can think about the rest. She asked me again, "You haven't gotten that far, have you?" I was so embarrassed. I didn't want to talk about it even if it was my own mom. I scratched my head and said, "Mom, I'm going out to help." As soon as I turned around, I saw Ryan Lin with his hands in his pockets, leaning against the kitchen doorway, looking at me slyly, and I don't know how much of the conversation I heard. Feeling even more groundless, I bowed my head and went out. Ever since I started high school, Mr. Lin and Mrs. Sue usually came back once a month, and Mr. Lin and Mrs. Sue let my mom and I eat with them. Usually my mom eats with the other servants. In the beginning, Mr. Lin asked us to eat at the table together, but my mom refused very firmly. My mom treasures this job, so she wouldn't do anything that the host family might hate. The table was a happy place. Mr. Lin listened to my self-publishing account, told me I had a brain and a knack for it, and gave me a couple of suggestions. Ryan Lin didn't say much the whole time, but he had a warm smile on his face and helped me with my food. Just as he did at the original dinner, a gentle, good brotherly look. Everyone was happy. It was so nice. After dinner, I sat on the sofa and watched TV, and Wang Hing sent me a message. Ethan Zhao, baby, I miss you. Let's have lunch together tomorrow. I was in a good mood, so I replied, baby, me too. We arranged the time and place for tomorrow's lunch, and chatted some more, sharing our daily routine. To be honest, I think there are really a lot of benefits of being in a relationship with Ethan Zhao, except for the fact that he hints at me getting a room from time to time. After chatting, I felt a chill down my back. Ryan Lin was standing behind me with a glass of milk, and I don't know if he saw my chat. I was a bit embarrassed and said to him, Ryan Lin, have you been busy lately? He smiled and said, I'm fine. Milk. Hurry up and drink it. I gulped it down. When he took back the cup, his fingertips brushed against my fingers, and I hurriedly shrunk back, killing any ambiguity in the cradle. After playing with my phone for a while, I felt so sleepy that I went back to my room, took a shower, fell into bed and went to sleep. I slept soundly. So I didn't realize that in the middle of the night, the door to my locked room was keyed open. Ryan Lin, who has always been gentle and understanding, came into the room with a rope, unlocked the door, stood by my bed, looked at me for a long time through the moonlight outside the window, and then began to gently tie me up again, carrying me away from the Lin family, and I, still dreaming, I woke up and I was kidnapped by my childhood friend. I looked at the ropes on my wrists and feet, the unfamiliar room, and Ryan Lin, who was sitting beside my bed with a gentle smile on his face, and fell into a deep thought. Sister, are you hungry? I raised my hand, pretending to be calm, but in my heart I was trembling with fear. Brother Ryan Lin, is this some new kind of cosplay? Ryan Lin touched my head and looked at me slyly. Yes. It's an exclusive game for younger sisters and older brothers. I looked at him hesitantly and then looked around. Where are we? Why don't we play when we get home? Ryan Lin directly fed me water. His tone didn't change much, but his black eyes obviously turned cold. Isn't my sister very busy when she goes back? There is your boyfriend, your mom, my parents, and your studies. Each is more important than my brother. How can my sister remember me? He added sadly, I really didn't expect it. I cared about you for so many years. I always thought you were still young, so it's normal that you didn't react to my hints. I knew my mom didn't want me to be with you, so I thought I'd start my own business first, and wait until the future when even if they didn't support it, they'd have nothing to say. And I'd be able to take good care of you. I didn't expect that. He pinched my face. You're not young and don't know anything. You don't like me. I was messed up. So all these years he cared for me because he liked me, but he didn't say that. I always thought he was just nice. I didn't even think about it in any other way. I gulped. Brother Ryan Lin, let's talk things over. Don't do anything too drastic. Tell me what you want. I'll think about it. It's true that usually the better behaved and calmer a person is, the more obsessive he is when he starts to go crazy. Ryan Lin lost his sad look again and turned to look at me somewhat happily. But it's okay. I've already thought about it. It turns out that it's because we spend too little time together. That's why you don't like me. And as long as we spend enough time together, they won't be more important than me. So, you've been here all along. You know, I strayed away a whole lot of stupid. He even took my cell phone and messaged Ethan Zhao for me to break up with him. Ethan Zhao called me directly. And he took the phone and turned it on. Ethan Zhao's voice was a bit anxious. Why do you want to break up? We were not fine yesterday. I looked at Ryan Lin, and the kitchen knife he was still holding in his hand. My voice was a bit shaky. Just don't like it anymore. Sophia Wong, you have a problem. I have been with you for more than a month. You say you don't like it. You don't like it. You think I'm your dog. I'm at your beck and call. I'm at your beck and call. Where are you? I'm coming over right now. I haven't opened my mouth yet. Ryan Lin took the cell phone over to me. His voice was clear and cold. I'm her new boyfriend. Don't harass my girlfriend. Ryan Lin hung up the phone. I started to worry about my self-media account. If Ethan Zhao said I cheated on him, would I collapse the room? Ryan Lin said. He is really unqualified. Fortunately split. I hurriedly nodded my head. Ryan Lin took the kitchen knife and went to the kitchen to cut vegetables and started cooking. I used my teeth to bite open the rope on my hand, and untied the rope on my ankle, and sneakily tried to go out. This should be his apartment. And it doesn't look very popular. I guess something had been added to the milk last night, and I felt a little dizzy and didn't have much energy. My heart is pounding and Ryan Lin is cooking in the kitchen, his back to me. My palms were sweating. Then gingerly tried to open the door. But the door wouldn't budge. My forehead was sweating with anxiety, but I just couldn't open it. Let's eat. Ryan Lin carried a plate of food on the table. Looking at me, still with that gentle look, he asked suspiciously, "Where do you want to go?" I shook my head. He came straight over and picked me up. The ground is cold. Don't step on the ground without slippers. I was put on a chair at the dining table, and he went to the shoe cabinet to get me a new pair of slippers. He was still giving me food, while telling me, "I'll call in sick for you at school." Brother Ryan Lin. I tried to reason with him, begging him, "Can you let me go back? I don't want to live here. Your parents and my mom will be very disappointed when they find out you did this kind of thing." He was unmoved. Brother Ryan Lin, you're very nice. Have you forgotten? You're a good brother. Don't do something so scary, okay? Baby, eat. He gave me a piece of food and put it to my mouth, smiling at me with a gentle and focused smile. I've long wished that it was just the two of us at the dinner table. I didn't believe he could really lock me up. I'm a living person. How can he lock me up? Even if I had taken a leave of absence from school, my mom would have called the police if she couldn't reach me. And how could he keep an eye on me when he had his own work to do? I refused to eat and told me to let me out. Ryan Lin was angry and looked disappointed. You don't like me that much. What's wrong with me that you'd rather be in a relationship with a playboy than like me? It's not that I don't like you. It's that we don't fit. I got angry. And you said you like me. That's how you treat me. I think you're simply possessive. You're only making me hate you more by locking me up. Don't make me call the police. Call the police. Ha 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 ha. He laughed. Then call the police. Go ahead. Let the world know what I've done. Let my parents, your mom know. I'm looking forward to the look on their faces too. I cringed. I couldn't believe how surprised, how disappointed, how sad Mr. Lin and Mrs. Sue would be if they found out that Ryan Lin kidnapped me. My mom would be devastated too. And we were getting along so well. The atmosphere was so harmonious. It would be so embarrassing if this happened. Ryan Lin, He turned out to be good to me and I don't want him to go to jail. I mumbled, Brother Ryan Lin, I want call the police. Let's not play around. If you don't want me to fall in love, I want. If you want me to do anything, you talk to me and I'll cooperate with you. Okay. I want you to love me. He held me close in his arms and gently sniffed my scent. I want you to love only me and be with me all the time. If you can't do that, then stay here all the time. He looked at me and said very seriously. But your mom doesn't even like me. I thought about it and let it go. It was more important to get my freedom first. Then let's have an underground affair and not tell our families. Okay. When he gets tired of it, I'll be free. Give me a kiss. He was back to his old glowing self. I moved over and he frowned. What's that look on your face now? Don't you like me? Yes, I do. I was busy trying to kiss the side of his face. He turned his head a little and went mouth to mouth with me. I didn't know what it felt like. I felt jittery inside and had to give in. When I made the kissing video with Ethan Zhao, I was only thinking about earning traffic and making money. Now, I feel like I'm too miserable. Ryan Lin doesn't agree to let me out now. He says we need to cultivate our feelings at home. His so-called way of cultivating affection is to ask me what I want to eat every day and then make it for me. Even to feed me personally. I sleep most of the time. It's rare that there is so much time for me to sleep. I can't for the life of me figure out how Ryan Lin suddenly became like this. Everything is so magical. We shared a bed at night. During the first night, he asked me if I had ever been with Ethan Zhao. I shook my head. He then hugged me and cried, saying that when he knew I was with someone else, he really wanted to kill me. Wanted to kill Ethan Zhao. And then kill himself. I asked him if he was under too much pressure and if he wanted to see a psychiatrist. He just laughed and said I was his medicine. Sometimes I feel that Ryan Lin is like a snake, all cold and tightly wrapped around me, but I can't break free. Sometimes I feel that he is gentle and elegant, the original Ryan Lin brother. When I can't think of things, I want to sleep. I feel that when I wake up from sleep, I will be a little bit more refreshed, and I can face a lot of things in life. Most of the time I wake up, he's telecommuting. Or he's out and away. But I wake up and the landline in the apartment, which can only take calls, rings to tell me he'll be back in a few moments. The apartment is monitored. I stayed in his apartment for 5 days in a state of limbo. Until 5 days later, there was a loud rap on the door outside. Ryan Lin frowned and I saw him open the door. Opening it from inside the house required a fingerprint or a password, meaning only he could open it. It was actually the police outside. The one who called the police was Ethan Zhao. He called my number. But Ryan Lin blacked out his phone and WeChat. Ethan Zhao wanted to settle the score with me. He couldn't find anyone at school and didn't know my home address, so he called the police for me. I was stunned. Then came Ryan Lin's parents and my mom. I looked at Ethan Zhao. Then at Ryan Lin, then at Ryan Lin's parents and my mom. My mom said, I didn't see you the next day, and our surveillance cameras at the villa didn't find you going out. So it was strange, and I couldn't reach you, and the school counselor asked me what kind of illness you had. And if she wanted to organize a student trip to see you. The police asked me, have you been kidnapped, Mrs. Sue? Comrade policeman, how can this be? This is my son. They both are childhood friends and grew up together. There must be some kind of misunderstanding. Police. But someone called the police to report that she had been kidnapped. Reporting a false police report is punishable. Ethan Zhao immediately said, my girlfriend and I had an appointment for dinner, but she suddenly broke up, and there was a guy talking next to her. After that I couldn't contact her anymore. What is it if it's not kidnapping? Mr. Lin was a bit anxious. Ryan Lin, explain clearly to the police comrades. You are just having fun with Shia here. Mrs. Sue said. Shia. Say something. How could your brother Ryan Lin kidnap you? A police officer who was with me said to me, little girl, say whatever you have to say. Don't be afraid. My mom looked at me nervously. Her eyes were red. I looked at Ryan Lin, and he looked at me. His eyes were all calm and unruffled, with a gentle ease, as if nothing could shake his calm. Neither of us said anything. The police didn't care so much, directly put handcuffs on Ryan Lin. He still didn't say anything. A policewoman said she would take me to the hospital for a medical checkup. They searched the house for rope and collected evidence from the trash can. The police asked me, can you get out of here? I shook my head. I couldn't open the door. Mrs. Sue started crying and Mr. Lin slapped Ryan Lin. I was shocked. I wanted to talk, but I didn't know what to do. Am I going to be locked up by Ryan Lin all the time? If he's like this now, will he do the same to me in the future? But I don't want him to go to jail. Can he not hold me later and then I'll just tell the police that he didn't kidnap me? When Ryan Lin was taken away, he said to me, remember to wear a jacket when you go out. It's getting cold. Don't catch a cold. Then he ignored his parents and went straight after the police. My mom followed me to the hospital for a checkup. When I came out of the hospital, the police asked me if I could go and make a statement, and I said could I have some time to think about it. They told me to go to them as soon as possible to make a statement. My mom kept crying and said she was sorry. Mr. Lin went to get a lawyer and Mrs. Sue followed us. When I got out of the hospital, I wanted to go back to school, but now that things are like this, my mom definitely can't go back to the Lin family. I asked my mom to go to school with me. Mrs. Sue asked if I could talk alone. Mrs. Sue opened a private room. She pressed her forehead tiredly and said, Shia, Ryan Lin, did he bully you? Do you want him to go to jail? I was busy shaking my head. I don't want him to go to jail. Then why didn't you explain yourself just now? Mrs. Sue was anxious. Mrs. Sue, can you talk to Ryan Lin and tell him not to lock me up in the future? And I'll just tell the police that he didn't kidnap me. Okay. I don't want to be locked up, but I don't want him to go to jail either. Mrs. Sue said goodbye to me with a pale face. She told my mom to go back and stay there, saying that we should all calm down. My mom went back with Mrs. Sue. I took a taxi back to school alone and saw Ethan Zhao at the door. Ethan Zhao rushed up to me and asked me cautiously, Shia, are you okay? Don't think about this matter. Go back and get some sleep. The police will take care of this. I hesitantly looked at him and said, you actually know how to call the police? He scratched his head. At first, I just wanted to find you to settle the score. But the result is that I didn't see you. Who could have thought that obsessive is around it? This matter no one knows. Everyone thought you were sick. You don't worry. I won't tell anyone else either. Thank you, I sincerely said. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm your boyfriend. I didn't protect you well. It's my fault. What? Didn't we break up? Didn't you get coerced into breaking up? Then we broke up too. Let's take this chance to break up. King, sure. What did you say? What did you say? I was startled. I threw down a goodbye and ran away. I want to find a fortune teller to tell me if I should be alone. Otherwise, why is it so hard to fall in love? Even if my heart is not pure, I don't have to be so unlucky. Regarding Ryan Lin, I went to the police station the next morning and told them that he didn't kidnap me. The Lin family is kind to me and my mom, and Ryan Lin has always been good to me. I don't want him to go to jail. Maybe I still can't connect the gentle Ryan Lin brother with obsessive. After Ryan Lin was released, he came to see me at school. I had just finished a class. We stood opposite each other in a remote corner. He pinned my hair behind my ear and asked me, "Did you miss me?" His attitude was that nothing happened. As if he wasn't in the police station for kidnapping me. With that, he took my hand in his hand. I struggled a bit, but he held it tighter. Ethan Zhao ran over and threw his fist and hit Ryan Lin. Then the two of them fought in the school. I hurriedly ran away. I regretted even more. Ryan Lin is not to be messed with. And Ethan Zhao is not to be messed with either. Now Ethan Zhao and I are at loggerheads, pestering me every day, not recognizing that we broke up. I ran back to the dormitory. I got a packet of instant noodles to eat. Ryan Lin sent me a message and said he was waiting for me downstairs. My dormitory is on the 3rd floor, and I could see him standing by the flower bed through the balcony. I replied to him, "Ryan Lin, don't wait for me. Go home quickly. Don't let Mrs. Sue worry about me, and forget about what happened during this period of time." As a result, Ryan Lin didn't leave, and stood there from noon to night. By 10:00 p.m., all the other sisters in the dorm were discussing who the handsome guy downstairs was in a sadistic relationship with. I called Mrs. Sue and asked her to come pick her up. Mrs. Sue had a hard time saying anything, but not long after, I saw Mrs. Sue and Mr. Lin coming. They didn't know what they said to Ryan Lin. Mr. Lin almost hit him, but Mrs. Sue held Mr. Lin down. They talked for half an hour, and in the end Ryan Lin didn't leave, pissing off Mrs. Sue and Mr. Lin. He's really persistent. When I came downstairs, his eyes lit up. I gave him a bottle of water. He took my hand when he received the water. "Ryan Lin, are you crazy? Why don't you go see a doctor?" "I am not crazy. I just like you." "Is it wrong to like you? Your parents don't approve." "I like you. You like me. Who cares if they agree? I don't like you as a man and a woman." "I don't mind. Come home with me. My apartment is not far from your school." I took a step back. "No, I don't want to be locked up. I won't lock you up if you stay with me." He begged me again. "Chia, have mercy on me. I haven't had a good rest for the past 2 days. I won't do anything to you. Don't you trust me?" Then you go to the mental hospital tomorrow. You accompany me. Then I'll stay in the dormitory. We'll go to the hospital together tomorrow." He finally left. Lying back on the bed, I couldn't sleep. I felt like I slept too much. My account hasn't been updated either. It's just because of this shit. My mom is still talking about finding an apartment, moving out, and getting a new job. At 2 o'clock in the middle of the night, Mrs. Sue sent me a long message. She said she was sorry and asked me to forgive Ryan Lin. She also said she asked me to take care of Ryan Lin, who must be sick and stuck in a dead end right now. The next day, I woke up dizzy. Ryan Lin came to school to pick me up, and then we went to see a psychiatrist together. I was still feeling a little embarrassed. The doctor looked at me and asked what was wrong with me. I pointed to Ryan Lin. "He has a problem." The doctor froze and asked Ryan Lin again. Ryan Lynn said. I like her and want to be with her. Is that considered sick? The doctor looked at us both with a confused expression. I was busy explaining. He locked me up a while ago. The doctor looked at us with a horrified face. Ryan Lynn said, I didn't want to keep her locked up all the time. I was just developing a relationship with her. The doctor told us to ask at the police station. He couldn't cure it here. Quack, quacks. After leaving the hospital, Ryan Lynn dragged me to dinner. I didn't know what to eat. As a result, the video of him holding my hand was taken. Because I was already considered a small internet celebrity for being a business sweet couple with Ethan Zhao some time ago, now someone just straight up said that I cheated on him. For a while, my various accounts were cursed. Then someone else broke the news. Ryan Lynn and Ethan Zhao fight. It was even more confirmed that we were in a love triangle. I hurriedly sent a note saying that I had broken up with Ethan Zhao. But Ethan Zhao responded to me right after that. He didn't agree to break up. It was someone who interfered in our relationship. And he's still waiting for me. Ryan Lynn also made a note that everything is none of my business. It's him who seduced me. Please don't scold me. My account went up a few million followers all of a sudden. All black fans. All of them are scolding me. The counselor talked to me and told me to pay attention to my personal image and not to do anything against public order and morals, or else the school wouldn't be able to handle it. In the end, it was Mr. Lin who paid to have it suppressed. My mom is now living in a rented house. She can't find a job for the time being. I don't want her to work in a job that's too hard for her, but if it's not hard, someone else would have done it already. She has saved up some money in the Lin family over the years, and I thought that if I earned some more money, we could buy a small house. But to make money, you have to do commercials. Ryan Lynn came to the school to look for me twice a day for 3 days, and when I didn't see him, he just sat there on the stool in front of the dormitory and worked remotely. Thanks to him and Ethan Zhao, I am now a public figure known to the whole school. When I go out to do laundry, people look at me like a monkey. Ryan Lynn's visit to me was also photographed online by many good people. Anyway, the topic of me cheating on my wife has already been viewed by tens of millions of people, and the trend is still going up. I took a deep breath. This money is not earned for nothing. When Ryan Lynn came to me again, I dressed up and met with him. He brightened up, and then happily touched my head. Did you miss me? I nodded my head. Then I started copying the same routine I did with Ethan Zhao. Being a relationship blogger. Posting a few videos that were very popular. Ethan Zhao sent me a message scolding me, saying that I was just a bitch, actually with a kidnapper, strong C criminal, deserved me to be locked up for life, and would never save me next time. I ignored him. But Ethan Zhao got into it with us again. He started scolding Ryan Lynn for cutting him off, and he did it publicly on the internet. Because of Ethan Zhao, Ryan Lynn's identity and Mr. Lynn's company were all revealed. But Ryan Lynn's account has gained more than 1 million fans. I asked him to give me the account to manage, and signed a contract, and negotiated how to share the money earned. He said he didn't want any money, just give me all the money, and said he would give me all the money in the future. Ever since I decided to make a sweet relationship video account with Ryan Lynn, I've been busy. But this is okay, not particularly difficult. And then I moved inside his apartment again. What a sin. But it was nice to be able to make more videos too. Mr. Lynn's company was just starting to suffer a little bit, but luckily the images weren't that big. After Ryan Lynn and I got together, Mrs. Su used to ask us to come home for dinner. She doesn't tell me to stay away from her son now. Instead, Her words are meant to thank me for not minding his son's mental illness. Me. Ryan Lin usually acts normal. Because we were hot, I was living in his apartment again, and had live stream sales, and became a complete internet sensation. Internet celebrities really make money. At first I was cursing Ethan Zhao and Ryan Lin for making me get scolded by the whole internet. But now I feel like thanking them for their brainlessness. Let me make money. I'm willing to be scolded every day. Ethan Zhao found a new girlfriend. Things gradually calmed down. My life with Ryan Lin was also particularly regular. I usually went to school, and after class, I went to his company to find him, post some daily, or edit videos in my apartment, or live stream sales. He was busy with his company. Mrs. Sue looks at me now with a satisfied face, and says that when I graduate, she will marry Ryan Lin, and she's already installed the children's room. I think Mrs. Z's mentality is the ancient kind of joyful mentality, seeing that Ryan Lin is very sick. She asked me to treat him. My mom came back to work at the Lin family. She said she was not used to being idle and familiar with the Lin family, so she might as well earn some money. Instead of praising Ryan Lin for being a good boy, they are now telling him to relax more, not to work all day, to go out for a walk or a trip, that his body is the most important thing, and that everything else is secondary. It's like treating a terminally ill patient like he's afraid he'll take out a kitchen knife and cut someone. Ryan Lin still has a warm smile on his face, and while giving me food, he meekly said yes, and also cared about everyone's health by the way. Crowd. My sophomore year of college, Ryan Lin made the leap to the Forbes list and we were on the hot seat again. But this time, it was full of his pre-purchased waterboys bragging about how we were the best couple and true love. I was stunned. Crazy and genius are really one and the same. I usually don't think he's any better. At most, he was a steady no. One during his student days, and his looks are more in line with the temperament of the novel's male lead. I really didn't think that he could be so bullish on his own. I was so surprised that I couldn't speak, and asked him, You actually secretly poked and prodded so much. He was usually like a man of science and technology. His working hours were a lot, and he usually worked overtime holding a computer, but he also often came to the school to find me. The two of us live together in an apartment, and then he does all the housework, although the two of us don't usually have much housework. He moved closer to me, his cold breath wrapping around me instantly, and asked, So, do you love me a little more? Extra. Ryan Lin loves the newest sister in the family. The little girl has a thick head of ebony hair, a pair of watery almond eyes, a small and cute round face. Looking soft and timid, he felt like a little lamb. She spoke in a small voice and was very polite. He then liked to take care of her, take her out to buy things, take her to adapt to the environment. Her mom was the maid in the house. To be honest, when he first saw Sophia Wong being raised that way, all he felt in his heart was exasperation. Poor people shouldn't have children, and if they do, they can't raise them well, so why have them? Such a pretty little girl. Even when she came to his house in the latest clothes, he felt that it didn't fit or look good, and she looked scared of her new environment, and didn't have that feeling of being generous at all. He felt sure that if he were to raise her, he could raise her better, preferably the kind of white and clean like a little princess. So he took good care of Sophia Wong, both at home and at school. She followed him around obediently and called him Brother Ryan Lin. When he got out of school early, he would go to her junior high school to see if she had left. On that day, Sophia Wong's test results came in, and she didn't do well. She just sat alone in the classroom and wrote her homework alone. Tears snapped and fell. then wiped herself clean and tried to see clearly what was on it. Ryan Lin watched her cry and felt bad himself, all the while thinking that he would have to have a daughter as cute as Sophia Wang in the future. He went in, gave her a tissue and reassured her in a warm voice that she was fine. Everyone came through. Sophia Wang wiped her tears while saying very sadly, "No, Ryan Lin's brother has always been very good. He won't do so poorly in the exams like me." He glanced at the score on her test paper. 59. It was true that he had never gotten such a bad score. Sophia Wang had been living in her grandmother's house since she was young, and was very skillful at reading people's faces, so she was even more saddened when she realized that Ryan Lin really didn't have such a bad score. Ryan Lin coaxed her for a while before she choked up and told him to go back first. She couldn't hold him up. She wanted to cry on her own for a while longer. Ryan Lin collected her school bag, pulled her up and took her away. Sophia Wang was still a fragile little girl at the time, and she cried and cried all the way to the playground, attracting countless passers-by to watch. Ryan Lin eventually took her to a playground to cheer her up. Sophia Wang looked at the playground and shook her head. She said in a very sad voice, "My grades are so bad. How can I still be qualified to play?" Later, Ryan Lin thought her idea was good. Because throughout her middle and high school, she never had any tendency to fall in love early. It was rare for him to come home when he was in college. But every time he came back, he would go through her cell phone and book bag. In secret, of course. He didn't feel like he was invading her privacy. He felt like he was just protecting her from the side. He also asks her about her relationship status and if anyone is after her. Sophia Wang does trust Ryan Lin. She always wanted to be as good and dazzling as Ryan Lin. Ryan Lin was almost the only person who led her along the way. Her mother was not knowledgeable enough to teach her any life lessons and knowledge, and Ryan Lin's parents, who were not related to her by blood, were kind enough to take care of her. She honestly told him that some boys did write her love letters, but she rejected them all. Then she asked him, a bit bitterly, "Am I like a robot? My classmates say that I am too tense every day. I don't know how to enjoy life. I don't know how to loosen up. There are so many classmates around me. They are secretly in love, but their grades are still good. But I am afraid that if I am in love, it will affect my study." And a group of high school students always like to go out together on weekends. She doesn't want to go. And her classmates will always say that she doesn't fit in, so it's not good. Sophia Wang really wanted to hear Ryan Lin's opinion. She was also afraid that she was wrong about this idea. Ryan Lin listened to her and gave her a big encouragement. He said, "You are right. You are not in the same condition as others. Your classmates, they may have a good family background, or maybe they go out to play, and they have several tutors at home waiting to help them improve their grades. But what do you have? You only have yourself, and me, and am abroad. I can't help you often. So it's even more important for you to study without any distractions, and never get too close to others." Sophia Wang thought in her heart, she only has herself, because she can only be responsible for her own life. If she goes to play now, she will work as a factory worker in the future, and the classmates who are playing with her now won't be able to accompany her at that time. Sophia Wang admires and trusts Ryan Lin even more, thinking that he is not only good at reasoning, but also able to think from her standpoint. Ryan Lin would occasionally send her messages, asking her how she was doing. But basically, it would take several days to receive a reply to a single message. Sophia Wang has a landline in her dormitory, so if something happens to her mom and she can't find her through her cell phone, she can call the landline, or she can contact her homeroom teacher and the hostess to find her. However, she often turned off her cell phone and put it in the closet because she felt it was a waste of time when she was constantly messaging her in the class group or from her classmates. When Sophia Wong was a senior in high school, Ryan Lin came home for Christmas break. He went to her school to look for her, ready to surprise her with a Christmas gift. He remembers that when he was in high school, everyone went crazy at Christmas, giving each other gifts and then taking the opportunity to either confess or flirt with each other. He called her, and as usual, the phone was turned off. He communicated with the doorman for half a day, then called her homeroom teacher and pressed his ID card before he managed to get in. It was Friday afternoon. The last 2 classes were not in session, and the school let the students clean up. It was Sophia Wong's group's turn to clean. She was scrubbing the glass, and there was a tall, skinny and pretty boy next to her, who kept talking to her. She ignored him. Ryan Lin raised an eyebrow. She knew Sophia Wong had always been polite. She wasn't above ignoring people. The boy didn't know what he was talking about and pulled a box out of his pocket and shoved it to Sophia Wong. Sophia Wong threw it directly into the trash can and said angrily, "I said I don't like you. So don't bother me." The boy's face was very ugly. He was publicly humiliated, and he wanted to make trouble with her. "If you don't like me, who do you like? Are you going to be a nun for the rest of your life?" Sophia Wong's face turned red with anger. She wouldn't like such a childish boy. Ryan Lin came into their classroom and put his hand on Sophia Wong's shoulder and said to the boy, "She likes me." Sophia Wong was shocked. Ryan Lin was good-looking and had an air of money, and even though he usually had the appearance of a mild-mannered, three-red student, the reserved indifference in his bones still unconsciously radiated out. He hooked up the corners of his lips and smiled, saying, "Do you have any more questions?" The surrounding students who were watching stared at them with interest. The boy was ashamed of himself. If the one who came in was inferior to him in every aspect, he could still laugh at them, but Ryan Lin was clearly several blocks away from him in every aspect. Anyone with eyes would know how to choose. The boy left angrily. Sophia Wong was still in a state of confusion. Ryan Lin directly wrapped his arm around her shoulders and just took her away from the crowd. Warm and soft in his arms, Sophia Wong's faint fragrance reached his nostrils, and he only felt a jolt, his heart beating violently, and his body trembling slightly. They went to the playground. Sophia Wong hurriedly struggled, and the two kept their distance. She fell back and asked, "Brother Ryan Lin, what brings you here?" It was as if what just happened hadn't happened. There was no such ambiguous behavior from them. Ryan Lin felt a bit puzzled. He realized early on that he liked Sophia Wong, and his possessiveness was growing. Although he didn't want to fall in love early, he actually thought it was okay for the two of them to confirm their feelings. So in his limited time with Sophia Wong, he would do some ambiguous behavior to test her. For example, he pretends to accidentally touch her hand when lecturing. He touches her forehead when she coughs. And he also looks at her with deep affection. Just that kind of eyes. Know what I mean? Not to mention the various practical or inapplicable but symbolic gifts bought for her. He has sent a cup, representing a lifetime, a watch, representing his heart, bracelets, combs, hairpins, 9-link rings, necklaces. Sometimes he said something ambiguous like "I've been waiting for you to grow up, I've been thinking about you outside, I've been dreaming about you," or something like that. Sophia Wong is as good as insulated. Every time. She was very generous and nipped all the ambiguity in the bud. When he touches her forehead, she doesn't blush. She looks at him with a serious face and says, "Hands are not allowed. I have to use a thermometer." And then she takes her temperature with the thermometer in a serious manner. He holds his chin up and looks at her affectionately, and she winks and says to him, "Brother Ryan Lin, I want to go poop." When he said he dreamed about her, she laughed out loud and asked if it was a nightmare, then made a hideous face. Those gifts she received, she never used them either, and kept them well. He had originally always thought she was childlike and not grown up yet, so she didn't understand. Now that he looked at her on the playground, he suddenly understood. She understood. With her experience, would she not be able to tell that he liked her? That she just hadn't been able to reject him the way she'd rejected that boy in the classroom. Had given her a Christmas present, a necklace, and she'd taken it with difficulty, saying he'd give her a bargain later, and she liked bargains. He wanted to take her out to dinner. She said the paper was not done. Then the two went to the school cafeteria to order food to eat. On the way back, Ryan Lin kept thinking about what to do. He knew his mom wanted him to find a girl from a good family to marry. So she didn't like Sophia Wong. He thought he would come back after graduating from college and start his own business. And when he made a name for himself, his parents wouldn't be able to interfere with his decision. As for Sophia Wong's side, when he came back, then slowly chase. Anyway, they are still a foreign country. Unexpectedly, everything went as smoothly as expected. Except for Sophia Wong's side. He's been busy with the company. And every time he took the time to care about Sophia Wong and asked her to have dinner, she said she was busy, and every reason she said was irrefutable. Even reasons like accompanying her roommate to have an abortion. And then very quickly, he saw her official announcement. That was swift. He looked at the smiling pair of dogs in his phone. The color of his dark eyes deepened and his fingertips turned white. He felt an anger he had never felt before. How dare she like someone else? And with someone else. Take him for what? An ingrate. Rejecting him and then finding a playboy. He was calm on his face, but his heart was turning over. Sophia Wong. He gritted his teeth and thought, like to play him right. Then he will play well with her. He thought for a long time. Then bought ropes, chains, enough food. He would lock her up. So ungrateful. So disobedient. So blind. She deserved to be locked up. He knew she wouldn't go out with him and avoided seeing him as if he were a ghost. He picked a time when she would be home for dinner and went back in a rather happy mood. The kind of pleasant where he was finally able to break the veil and then do whatever he wanted. What did it matter what she thought of him? Wasn't his original image good enough? This eating piece of shit. Still going out and finding some trashy guy to fall in love with. It was all her hand that ruined the harmonious atmosphere between them. So he smiled even more gently and kindly. Sophia Wong's eyes lit up when she saw him. Then she happily greeted him. See, she was in love and still seducing him. He thought disdainfully in his heart. And then he made a good appearance of a big brother and talked to her. He added sleeping pills to the milk in waves. For a moment there was some regret. Should have known it was still at this point. Should have drugged her earlier. He imagined wildly in his mind that if only he had been ruthless enough to drug her when he originally tutored her. If only he had laid down the rules for her when she first started coming here. Telling her that she could only have him in her life. She was the best molded then. He regretted his indecisiveness. Then he was in the mood to watch her chatting with her boyfriend. So they were calling each other baby. He thought it was a good name, and he would call her that from now on. The moment his fingertips met, he felt an electric current slide through his heart and became more and more excited. It felt so good not to have to pretend. He loved sucking on her fragrance and sweetness endlessly. And loved eating all of her frozen and stunned expression. Then her face gradually became infested with scarlet. The once bright and open eyes were colored with the mist of lust because of him. Let's see how she still pretends, how to escape. He felt satisfied. He told her to stay in the apartment for a week. He lied to her. He didn't want to let her out. He just hated himself for having the ridiculous idea that he wanted to properly raise her to be a drop-dead gorgeous princess. If he was given another chance, he'd just tell her that loving him was the most important thing in the world, and that if she loved him, she could have it all. Let her be like a vine that could only depend on him. And he wouldn't go to the junior high school to prevent her from being bullied. He would just watch her get bullied and then get all resistant and scared of the world, shrinking into her shell, and then he would show up again, comforting her, taking her away from the crowds, and the world would only be filled with him. It was wonderful just to think about it. He sighed tersely in contentment. Pity. So he'd pushed the envelope a little when Ethan Zhao had jumped the gun. When the police came, he was shocked for a moment. Then he was calm again. He knew her. Knew his parents, too. Neither of them would let him go to jail. When he left, there was still an infinite struggle in her eyes. Struggle. He thought indifferently. Doing it all over again. He only hated himself for not imprisoning her sooner. His heart was empty while he was in the detention center. He didn't want this feeling that things were still out of his control. He still had to get out. Get out and keep an eye on her. His mom and dad kept giving him ideas, which he found raucous, but he put on his standard good boy smile and said he knew everything. And then he wouldn't change anything. Sophia Wong, if she still didn't see him and was going to run away from him, then he'd come up with the perfect way to completely lock her up so that no one could find her. And that Ethan Zhao who's in the way, just get him killed. Just create an accident. Say she's dead. Then hide her and lock her up. From a very young age, he knew how to do all kinds of things he wanted to do without moving and planting evidence. He was also familiar with all kinds of chemical reactions, medical reagents. And breaking the law was really easy. He was knocking on the computer under her dormitory building while his fingers trembled slightly with excitement. But Sophia Wong came down and took his arm. He was slightly disappointed. Then he was happy again. He was going to raise her right. By the time Sophia Wong was in her senior year, she herself had become a Netflix head. Ryan Lin was even in just a few years, had become a rising star in the business world, and even richer. The Lin family and her mom are all optimistic about them, and even let them think about getting married and having kids. But Sophia Wong doesn't want to. She's afraid that Ryan Lin will have a relapse one day. Or what if his mental illness is passed on to his children, and now that they are also considered dignitaries, she feels she should enjoy the life of a single rich woman or try out new possibilities in life, instead of hanging on to Ryan Lin early. And she can't stand Ryan Lin's controlling nature. Going out to check in, having to be home by 9 p.m. Cell phone checks. She now had a company and a team. And her team was full of girls because Ryan Lin thought it was easier for girls to work. She's been in college for 4 years and doesn't have a single friend of the opposite sex on her cell phone. On the contrary, Ryan Lin still had the tone of a good brother, following the good advice, as if he was a messenger of justice to enlighten her, a lost lamb who was about to go astray. She thinks he's sick. And she was a bit of a bitch. Ryan Lin was always trying to please her, taking care of her like an old mother, cooking for her, doing her laundry, doing her chores, and most of the time acting like a good boyfriend except for when he was crazy in bed. She got a little bored. Maybe it's the familiarity. The novelty of being together in the beginning soon wore off. After a long time, it's all like that. And Ryan Lin wants to marry her. She doesn't want to get married. She wants to break up. Everyone is looking for a second chance. Excitement. When he asked her to marry him, she twisted her fingers hesitantly. He should be mentally ill, right? when he saw that there was no elation on her face, but instead she was torn and in pain, he raised an eyebrow, put away the ring, and asked indifferently, "You don't want to get married?" Sophia Wang's nervousness instantly relaxed. Perhaps Ryan Lin was as tired of it as she was. After all, they had been together for so long, even the most delicious dishes must have gotten tired of them. However, due to their childhood relationship, she was not willing to break up with him. She smiled sarcastically. "I think we can calm down for a while." Calm down means to break up. It also gives both parties a chance to back out. Ryan Lin smiled at her again. The smile was gentle and warm. Then he steadily picked up the knife and fork on the table, slowly and methodically cut a small piece of steak into his mouth, chewing slowly. The steak was medium rare, and still had a bloody flavor. He thought it was delicious. Sophia Wang didn't think it would be so easy for them to break up. She thought Ryan Lin would go crazy and grab her by the neck and ask why. Why did they break up? At the very least, they would have to have a big fight. Or both parents would take turns to educate her. At night, she was going to sleep on the couch and move out tomorrow. She feels relieved and free. When Ryan Lin pestered her and wanted to do it with her, she refused, thinking that it was not convenient to move out today since we broke up, and she was afraid of being photographed in a hotel, so she just made do with what she had. But Ryan Lin said it's over, for the last time. And then he started kissing her without refusal. Then she suddenly realized that he probably wanted to kill her in bed. In the darkness, his eyes were locked on hers, dark as an abyss. His hands easily restrained all her movements, as if he were fiddling with a doll. Her heart trembled, and she wondered if she had misjudged the situation. But she had no time to think, and soon fainted. When she woke up again, she found herself lying in a strange room. It was a villa. She walked to the balcony, looked out. Outside the villa, all the lush, endless mountains. To and fro are helicopters. Ryan Lin opened the door and came in. He is a long and elegant man, with a gentle brow and a pair of dark eyes, smiling at her with a gentle and doting smile. He said, "Baby, welcome to the new world." Finished. Sprinkle.